Get up here in the Zoloft and get your head right. That's right, baby. Hey, what's crapping, man? And that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about some more crapping stuff, man. Oh, dude, welcome to TZL, Unprescripted. Your head right hangout, baby. This is the place where you want to be to get your head right. Make sure these mugs get your head right too, dang it. Look here, hey, and speaking of some stuff that we're gonna be talking about, please be sure to boogie on over to bronzeserpentmedia.com, become a member, because, hey, the way that they yanking people, and you know, man, I've been worrying about this for years. You know I'm one of the early targets, right? That's why you can hardly find me on YouTube. That's why, like, I've had the same 73,000 or between 70,000, 80,000 subscribers for the past, like, going on 7 years. It will not grow because YouTube basically keeps me locked in their flipping dungeon and I can't grow my content, right? So my viewership doesn't grow. Google, you know, I think World Net Daily, you know, hey, World Net, they did that to me years ago where you can't be seen in cross-reference. They did that to me years ago, right? They came after the little guy that the liberals claim to be champions of, you know. They came after the black guy, you know, Black Lives Matter, so not this one. So, you know, but at any rate, you know, not saying that I deserve special treatment or anything like that. I'm just pointing out how contrary to their own narrative they are, right? So, that being said, y'all, like I said, they stuck it to me a long time ago, and I tried to warn people, but you know, it's kind of hard to warn people when people don't see you no more. Right? So these people are finding out, unfortunately, what that's like, and you know, I guess, you know, it is what it is. You know, we've given so much power to these people. That's why I don't like being on YouTube, y'all. I don't like being on YouTube because it just feeds the monster. That's why I encourage people. Please go over to my website. It's you know what? A lot of people keep talking about how we need to build our own platforms. We need to build our own platforms and stuff like that. No, dude, it doesn't work that way. What you might want to stop doing is fortifying theirs. Okay, that's the one thing that we don't do. We keep fortifying their platforms. I'm here right now, but I'm trying not to be. I really don't want to be here. All right, I'm trying to be on, and I'm not trying to, you know, be like checked out or anything like that. It's a whole point of we are feeding the monster. Not only are we feeding it, we are the food for the monster. All right, we're not fighting it. We are fueling it. I am not fighting YouTube. As much as I'm speaking out against YouTube, I am more food for YouTube than anything else. And before anybody, and I know people say, well, Zoe, have you tried Rumble? You know, I appreciate the suggestions, y'all. I really do. I appreciate the suggestions. But when anybody asks me if I'm on Rumble, you kind of proving what I'm talking about. Because if anybody asks me if I'm on Rumble, that means you didn't look for me there. All right, I've been on Rumble for years. Rumble does not work for me. And folks don't understand how shadow banning works. When you shadow ban, you are erased, you are faded out everywhere. It doesn't matter. Even on my own website, y'all, even on my own website, people have a hard time seeing me. All right, when you get shadow banned, y'all, it's you don't know what it's like until it's actually happening to you, right? So Rumble, no. And if anybody did actually look for me on Rumble and they didn't find me, that's my other point. Rumble makes it very hard to find me there. All right, so Rumble is not a good option for me. Somebody asked me if I was on Truth Social. No, I'm not doing Truth Social. I'll tell you why. Do you see my videos shared there? If you don't see my videos shared there, you know what? It means that nobody cares about my work there. It would not matter if I was there. All right, I could just be on Truth Social now. I'll just be another page there without anybody really checking out my work. It would be, and here it is. I'm wasting time trying to promote on Truth Social and not go anywhere. That's time that I could be using, researching, and creating and doing stuff like that. Same thing with Gab. Same thing with what was it, Parler, right? People ask me, "Are you on Parler?" Do you see people share my work? Like, nobody hardly even cares if I'm on Parler. There's no point in me being there. But like when Facebook started, you know why I got a Facebook account? Because a whole grip of people were already sharing I didn't even have to be on Facebook. People were already sharing my work on Facebook before I even got there. That's why I started an account there. And then from there, it blew up, right? And then, you know, when it got to about 100,000 page followers, Facebook put the squash on me. Yeah. And it's been that way for also about the past 7 years, right? So there's no point. It's just being there feeding the monster. But y'all, I have a website. Just come to the website, right? Be a member at the website, because they can pull the rug up from me under me at any time, y'all. And like I said, they already keep me faded out anyway. They probably don't even worry about the stuff that I say.
Suspend you every other month.
Yeah, right? Facebook, yeah, with their suspensions and whatnot.
I mean, YouTube.
Yeah. But all that to say, y'all, talking about what's happening right here, I think we're talking about Libs of TikTok. Okay, so Libs of TikTok. I'm telling you, it's weird how, like I said, I call this my sane space, right? This is, and it's your sane space too, where we need a place to go from the and only because we recognize that the Lord is our refuge, right? But a place to go to escape from the safe space, the global safe space, the global rubber room, and Twitter is definitely part of that rubber room, y'all. It's a rubber room in Twitter, trying to make it their safe space, and they think that they're protecting people, protecting people from like Libs of TikTok. This article here, I think, comes from Flag and Cross News. Libs of TikTok locked out of account after posting phone calls with Children's Hospital. All right, so you guys probably heard about this. We got them on audio. Children's Hospital. Basically confirming, yeah, we do these gender affirming and reassignment and all that other stuff. I reckon that's what comes along with it, but they do gender affirming procedures. And they do them on minors, right? And regularly, right? It's not like a boutique or what do they call it, a novel thing. That's part of what they do. They admitting to it in a phone call, right? And let's take now. Twitter got all butthurt about it and sent and locked Libs of TikTok out of their account. Let's see what this thing said here. What they Twitter then said to them. Twitter, the high priest of hypocrisy. They say to Libs of TikTok, you may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. So that's their community standards, right? I'm still trying to figure out what is it that Libs of TikTok did that was violent. What did they do that was threatening, right? I mean, aside from being a threat to the lie that these liberals want to keep us in, I mean, I can see where they're totally threatened by that, but we didn't do it with violence. So, the thing is, you want to talk about being in violation of your own standards. Doesn't it right here? It says harass. And included in that is people based on their religious affiliation. I mean, because, Twitter, y'all very hostile to, Christian. But I think Twitter probably understands the principle of Christianity being a relationship with Christ than it is being a religion. I think they understand that better than anybody else, because that's their loophole. Well, the reason why we harass Christians is because you're not a religion. You have a relationship with Christ, right? So that way, since you're not listed among those who we haven't listed to harass, we can go ahead and harass you. Wow. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they just understand it better than a lot of Christians do, or a lot of other people who just they can't seem to understand that Christianity is not a religion. We don't follow a religion. We follow Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and life. He didn't say religion is the way. He said he is. All right. So maybe that's their loophole, right? But at any rate, they're in violations of their own standards. I don't think they think that deeply anyway. I just, it felt, I don't know. I just wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt for a second, but no. That's not who they are. They're total bigots. My Twitter account. Do I do I proclaim violence against these people? I don't even cuss in my videos. You know, I'm not a hothead, you know, just on here, you know, spitting and snorting and fire breathing and all that sort of stuff, you know, evils against these people or anything like that, you know, going off like, you know, like, I don't know, like a crazy person.
Yeah.
I don't do that, you know, but they permanently suspended my account. Hey guys, over at Libs and TikTok, yeah, I got the same notification. Man, no, you know what? No, let me take that back. I didn't even get what you guys got. You guys at least got like some sort of an explanation.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's a slanderous charge against you, you know, but at least they gave you that. Mine just came in permanently suspended. It's like, wow. You know?
Yeah, but that was before everybody was going through this, so nobody cared back then.
Yeah, you know, I'm saying
It wasn't before it was
and
true.
it ain't like they're gonna care now,
Yeah.
right? It's not like they're gonna care now. So, but you know, it is what it is. But you know, liberals, you know, particularly at Twitter, it takes all kinds, total hypocrites as far as this goes. And you know, the thing is, these people at these children hospitals. Y'all, and you gotta be aware of the godlessness in merit-based, you know, institutions, you know, that do these things like under the trappings of like some sort of, you know, religious platform or anything like that, you know, or using like themes, you know, of sainthood and stuff like that. You know, be mindful of these things because, you know, it's a lot of exercise at feel-goodism. Not saying that you should not, you know, have a heart for children needing procedures and stuff like that. We want to be charitable, but just, you know, be mindful of who's doing these things and who you're giving, you know, your money to. And the Lord, you know, part of love, y'all, is trusting. But ultimately, it's the Lord that we trust in, where we can trust in all things. We have trust in all things, right? We have love in all things. You know, it isn't about like just going in and trusting without common sense. You have the Lord, He's your filter, He's your foundation to be able to trust, and you know that the Lord is going to lead you in the right direction. You know, but we don't want to treat people, you know, with a prejudice. You know, who are doing these things, and you know, they maybe acting like they're all good up front, but we know that they're doing something evil, so I'm not going to support them. You know, because you end up punishing the kids. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we just got to be mindful of things like that. Do our research. Prayerfully do these things so we can, you know, be compassionate, you know, with common sense and not, you know, and feed another monster who is baiting you with children. And that's what we know. That's how liberals do. That's how they've been doing, right? That's how you get these liberal states that are able to get so much money, because they use the children as bait. Right? Playing on your heartstrings. It's for the children. Don't you want them to be educated? Don't you want them to get nutritious food at school? Right? Don't you want them to get their Beyond Meat burger, which is overly processed, you know, vegetable matter? You know, come on. You know, that's what these liberals do.
Yeah.
Using the same children that they want to destroy. It's for the children. It's for the children. Now, you go ahead and we won't tell your parents if you want to go ahead and get an abortion. Right? You know what I'm saying? You know, and because, you know, we want you to be very liberated sexually. You should experiment, you know, and you should, but at the same time, you shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of your young fornications. You know, that's what's going on in school, right? So, you know, these kinds of things, man, you know, this is what people give their money to, whether it's the schools, whether it's these children's hospitals, whether you donating your money or your money is being taken from you in your taxes, your kids are being sent to the godless to educate them and to heal them, quote unquote, right? And by healing them, they have taken it as to be a sign of health. Not only is abortion considered health care, messing around with your kids, plumbing is health care too, in their eyes. And they think they're doing a good thing. These satanic saints, right? So, but that's what they're doing with your money. And like I said, man, I don't want this to turn out to be something where, you know, the kids have to suffer for this because of what these nuts are doing in doctors' robes. You know, got to be The Lord has the solution, and we just got to dial into it and execute, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, they use these kids as a means to attract money, but the thing is, and I don't want to make it like they haven't helped these kids, because the kids do get helped, right? But ultimately, it's an exercise in merits, y'all. To assume to give themselves a pass, a free pass to sin, if you will. And that's a big part of why the Lord don't dig folks trying to stack up merits, right? That's why he doesn't dig the merit-based thing. They'll always, when you have people who build their so-called faith on things like that, they will always assume that, they can draw on the good person card, right? I'm a good person and only God can judge me, while they persist in their sin. That's why God doesn't dig stuff like that. But y'all, I trip out on the response to this. In their damage control, you can see these people just oozing with contradiction. Just oozing with the contradiction. Okay, so they put out their bulletins saying that they don't do these procedures on minors. I mean, we got the recording, right? And even in their like mission statements, they're all about affirming, these kids in their gender confusion, right? But they're gonna put out these bulletins saying that they don't do these procedures on minors. It's a full-on contradiction. I mean, because why not? Why don't you? Why don't you do these procedures on minors? Is there something wrong with it?
Right.
Is it dangerous? Is it immoral? Why don't you guys? Why are you guys speaking so strongly against the charge of doing these things on minors? Unless there's actually something wrong with it, you guys are gonna have to admit to that. All right. So, and the thing is also is I can see through your loophole as it is. You say that you don't do these procedures on minors. All right. If you would go along with a little boy, little girl, or a teenager, or whichever, telling you that they identify as the opposite sex, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to go along with them telling you that they're an adult too. Yeah. All right. So all you got to do is just say, hey, fill out this form and that whole parental consent thing, because you're a minor, you can go ahead and don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
You can consent for yourself. You do consider yourself an adult, don't you? Of course I do. Well, there you go. Now, I would challenge any of you liberals to tell me that that's ridiculous. Because it sure ain't any more ridiculous than a little boy trying to say that he identifies as a girl. All right. So this is where we are, folks, and this is what they'll try to get it with. I mean, man, I tell you what, maybe my understanding of male and female is just too unsophisticated. I'm not a biologist, so I guess I really can't have this conversation. I can't even talk about it. I mean, I ain't getting no thousands of dollars in tuition debt and years of schooling to learn something that our instincts are already aware of.
Right.
Man, okay, and you know what? This remedial instinct of mine, lets me know. It lets me know that a male is supposed to go into the vagina.
Oh Lord.
That's right. That's a male. A male goes into the vagina. A vagina is not supposed to go into the male. It's science.
But
right?
science changes.
But there's certain things that don't.
Playing devil's advocate.
And that's science too, right?
Yep.
Yes, certain things change, There are things that are influenced by the effects of something else or affected and a cause and all that sort of stuff. And there are certain things that are catalytic. Certain things don't change.
Yep.
Right? So, if you guys don't quite understand it, let me put it to you another way. The penis. Come on, Uncle Zoe. You behave yourself now. The penis is supposed to go in to the woman. Not on the woman. Right? Let that one little word makes a difference. Right? Now, it's not supposed to go on her. All right, unless we're talking about, it being a woman as in, having some heavy third base action. That's another, right? When it's what? It's honor, right? Where she's like, oh my goodness, what are you rubbing up against me? Are you smuggling a yam in your pocket or a yucca root or something? Right?
A potato.
Easy there, sea biscuit. Do you want a sugar cube or something? Okay, so remember those third base days, honey?
Yes, honey.
Right? Anyway, making one of the joys of my life is making my woman blush.
Yes.
That's a part of, in a God-fearing marriage, fellas, a big key to it is talk dirty to your woman. That's right. Make her giggle and blush. Pat her on the booty once in a while. All right. So, but y'all, how long we been talking about this? Right? How long? Right? How long has the writing been on the wall telling us what ticks God off? TikTok? Twitter, right? But then I guess they feel like they're gonna win this one, man, and and you will have your earthly reward. Right? So but Twitter, they want to cover the truth up, in true spirit of the Democrat KKK, the invisible empire. They like things covered up. They want to go ahead and do their evil, in secret. And sometimes that hidden secret, those hidden things are hidden in plain sight. Just obvious. So obvious to some people, and it's really unfortunate where you do have this generation. This has always been, y'all, but there's no excuse in this generation for us to be repeating this stuff, right? We're supposed to know better at this time, yeah. But you got people just totally dyslexic about what's right and wrong, all that sort of stuff. So, but at any rate, y'all, what do you think? What's going on out there? What folks talking about?
Well, here's the thing. We've got all this stuff going on at the children's hospitals.
Hold on. Let me say something real quick. I already see high minders coming in here to talk about some knuckles. Man, that was not included in our third base, in our fourth play. Man, don't be, man. Easy there, butter knuckles.
So we have this butchery going on at the children's hospitals. How do we... what do we do to try to put a quell to this? What could be some steps that people can take?
Well, okay. It's like one of those things. Actually, no. I was going to use fossil fuels as an analogy, right? It's not. We still have time to actually implement fossil fuels, even though they're just totally removing that from us. But what I was gonna say, because if we were just going to be allowed to go ahead and do it, actually, if we would just man up and do it, stop waiting for the okay, right? Yeah. For the government to say, okay, you can go ahead and get back into the industry of jilling and exporting it, and doing it domestically and abroad, But why don't we just say, hey, man, we're doing this. Whether you like it or not, you keeping this from us is against the law. You've actually stolen our livelihoods. You have intruded on our right to property, right? You have intruded on our right to pursue happiness. In order to pursue happiness, you got to be able to go somewhere, and you've deprived us of the fuel to be able to do it. Okay, but if we could just go ahead and tap into it and start doing it, and that's part of my answer to this question of what do we do about this situation? Yo, man, we just need to man up and do it. Say, hey, you know what? No. What you're doing is against the law. No. It is against the law, right? Let us put that fuel to work. And it's the same thing with these procedures. that they're doing at the children's hospital. Roll in and just, they've already put out the disclaimer saying that they're receiving hostile and
Those have been proven to be fake.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, man, you butchers are the ones doing damage. Okay? And you want to sit there and act like victims, man, but I'm telling you, that is the language of the devil, baby. The devil acts like the biggest victim. These people are more Muslim than most Muslims. Because, the thing is, and the reason why I say that, y'all, is because in Al-Quran, the devil is introduced to you as a victim. Unlike in the Bible, the way it really is, he's introduced as your enemy. And he has no excuse for what he did, right? In Al-Quran, Iblis is introduced as a victim. And he's the one victimizing people. Okay? So this is how people get far with their narrative, is that they come across with the victim card. They're victimizing children and they're posing themselves as the victim and accusing you. The devil is a victimizer and his name means the accuser. Right? So we need to know, y'all, what we're fighting against. And it's demon driven. And you ain't fighting it without the Lord. And we need to get into our weapons manual and go to work. All right. So it's like this right here. I started off with talking about, this thing, with the fuel. But the thing is, the fuel, so if we would just go ahead and do it, we could a lot of the economy could be recovered like pretty darn fast.
If we were to start drilling more.
Yeah. If it's, or we'll continue, I should say, and get back to our exports and our domestic, distribution of it. Right. It's ready to go. But for what we're talking about right now, this is another kind of thing where the damage is so deep, y'all. It's so flipping deep, the damage that's done. I don't even know how far we could drill to tap back into sanity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. But hey, what I do know is that there's no place deep enough where the Lord can't reach. He is the longest and strongest arm of the law.
True.
Right? And if we lean on him, yes, we can resolve this and get the fortification to do it. So the things that have to be accomplished, there's a lot of, man, I'm telling you, y'all, there's no easy fix to this. There just isn't.
No easy.
There's no easy fix to this. Because there's so much to dig through. Unless people want to be satisfied with putting Band-Aids on things, unless people want to be satisfied with dealing with symptoms, y'all, it's going to take a lot of patience, stamina, finesse. This is something that was a long time in the making, y'all. A long time in the making. It's going to take a long time to get out of it.
Yeah.
Right? The only fast way out of it is a miracle, and I trust in that more than anything else.
Right.
I trust in the Lord's deliverance of it. But until then, He gives us our marching orders. We got a job to do, and we have a directive to occupy and get out there and speak truth and show it, not just speak it, show it. We got to walk it and talk it, and we got to show what this stuff looks like. And a lot of these tools, these people have given. The godless, the Lord himself has told us, hey man, can you dig what the children of the age are doing? I need you to do that stuff. Not do it for the defiling means that they do it for, but you got to tap into what the children of the age are doing and run interference on the lawlessness that they're doing. But like I said, a lot of the church and conservative voters, they don't do that. Too many are they end up idolizing their pastors, the church. And those who do vote, they see their politicians as some sort of political messiah.
Yeah.
And they don't understand there's cultural groundwork that has to be made. Why is it that we have to tiptoe around? Why do we have to tiptoe around being canceled? Why is it that these people, they own everything? Well, the word of God does say that the devil is the prince and the power of the air. And hey, they're the ones running the airwaves, ain't they?
Yeah.
Their signals are broadcast everywhere. Chances are, if you got an internet service, it's owned by a liberal, right?
Yep.
Our communications, all that sort of stuff. But, and like I said, again, and this is all coming down to like what's going on in children's hospitals. Y'all, that kind of mindset where they do these things, man, that's deep toxicity.
Yeah.
Generations deep, spiritually deep, mentally, emotionally, to be able to sell it that, hey man, this is wrong. All right. So there's a lot of stuff to be able to that we got to dig through.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of, and a lot of times, you know, with conservatives, they just don't have that kind of the stamina. They just think people should just get it. And you know what? A lot of times people don't. They don't just get it. You know, sometimes people, there's a way in order to, and some people are going to be hardwired that way. Some people are, hey, I used to be a liberal. I used to be godless. You know, what's going on at Jude's or the Children's Hospital? There was a time when I'd be like, yeah. You know, live and let live. If that's what they want to do, so they only got one life. YOLO, you only live once.
Yeah.
I was that person. You know? So thank God that through some cultural influences and the Lord's timing about what was going to reach me at some point, you know, the seeds were planted and I got it. Like, say, for instance, you know, I remember, you know, like back in the 70s, you know, or, you know, 70s, like, you know, martial arts was getting like really big in the 70s, Kung Fu theater and all that sort of stuff. I think like even in the late 60s that started. You know, so I took an interest in martial arts, you know, and, you know, when I met my martial arts instructor, the one who would really get me into, you know, the science, right? Not just the sport, but the science of like self-defense. You know, the first thing he told me was, none of this stuff is going to make any sense to you. You know, it won't be a benefit to you unless you know Christ. And I'm like, man, I don't care about that. I didn't tell him that. I didn't want to get my butt kicked, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking I don't really care to hear any of that stuff. I just want you to teach me how to kick butt and look good doing it. That's what I want to know. All right. So, but in the culture, martial arts, you know, hot. And that's a place where I was introduced, you know, and praise be to God, man, that seed bloomed. So, you know, it's introducing these things in the culture and where people are interested in it, man, because you find out, man, these people are hungry, but you got to relate to them somehow. Yeah. A lot of times people, you can't just roll up on them and say, hey, you know, can I tell you about Jesus? And you know, and I know that there's a lot of people who they have these conversions and stuff like that, but a lot of times these conversions ain't solid, y'all. They get caught up in the emotion of it. You know, they think that they're having some sort of experience, or it was like some, you know, cosmic coincidence that they met, and you told me exactly what I needed and when I needed to hear it, and then all of a sudden they're all in love with Jesus. Mm-hmm. You know, and they're going to these churches that are going woke, right? Yeah. Because they're all about just feeling love. Right? And just whatever makes you happy. And we'll just call it Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So these things are, they're even in the church and these you know, hospitals, you know, these saints of medicine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the devil gets in. The devil got into the garden of God, y'all. Yep. And you got, and it's like, that's not a fault of God. All Adam had to do was snatch that snake up by his tail, right? And say, yo, hey, God, what you want me to do about this? Right? Actually, before he grabbed that snake, before he even made a move, God, what you want me to do about this? That's all Adam had to do. He was standing right there with his woman, standing right there with him, watching the snake, you know, ease up on his wife, right? All Adam had to do, God, what you want me to do? You want me to take this snake, grab by his tail, and beat his head up against this tree? Right? He didn't do that. So y'all, the answer, one, Let me put it to you simply. When people ask, well, what are we supposed to do about this? Bam! Here's your answer.
Amen.
It's all in here. And we need to be in it every day. At least a chapter. Every day. Right? Learn what them words are. Don't, and when if you read through the Bible, one, just read it. Read it. All right? Don't try to philosophize with it or anything like that. Just read it. Get through the book. And then once you've read it, and you've seen what's in it, go back. And every day when you read it, make sure you read it with the counsel of the Holy Spirit. Say, Lord, help me understand. Yeah. Right? And just read it and let him get them words into you. And then when you go back and you read again, y'all, you don't read the book once. You read the book for the rest of your life, because that's what it is. It's life. Right? People ask, how did we get here? Because people don't read this thing and they don't study it. That's why. So you read it, and when you go back and you read it again, you start studying it. Right? Look at all them words. Break them down in the Hebrew and then in the Greek. You know, when you get to the New Testament. You break all them words down. You start finding out what's packed into those words. And then you start seeing the prophetic implications of them, and you see them. You'll see the Lord pop out in them pages. Yeah. I'm telling you, right? And that's when people ask, like, how do you know if you're saved? That's a good implication. When you see Jesus in the scriptures, when you see him, when you realize that, oh my goodness, it was always talking about him. Yeah. All right. So, and I know people, they want to hear the quick answer to this. It's like, there's no quick answer. There ain't. It's going to take work. Yeah. All right. And work that you're going to have to build something on, so we can actually go and execute a plan on how to solve it and stick with it. So people get discouraged, they get impatient, and they fall off with it. They don't even have the patience to read this. Mm-hmm. You know, but that's what the answer is. Yeah. And it told us what's going to go down. It told us how this is going to play out. Right? No excuse to not know. So at any rate, y'all, but like I said, the answer to it is, in terms of, like, you know, making these places stop and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that in itself, you know, how you gonna do that? There's stuff that should have been done long before. Let me give you like one more analogy. It's like going to the doctor, you know, interesting choice of words. It's like going to a doctor and the doctor telling you, hey, you need to stop doing this, or you need to start doing this, right? And you don't do what that, I would like to think, a God-fearing doctor has told you. And then when you really get sick from what it is that they had told you, that warned you about, you go in there and then the doctor's like, man, I told you, I'm sorry, you're going to have to lose that thing now. Yeah. Right? Oh, there's got to be something that you could do. What can we do? It's like, dude, I don't think there's anything that we can do. Why didn't you just tell me, why didn't you just do what I had prescribed to you in the first place? And see, that's where we are as a country now. There's things that, look, dude, this is what we needed to be doing. Right. All right. Even like right now, like I said, feeding the monster here on YouTube. We need to stop doing that. Let's get out of here. Stop feeding the monster. Stop feeding the monster on Twitter, YouTube and TikTok. This is another monster. That's a Chinese monster. That's Godzilla. No, that's not Godzilla. That's racist. It's not Godzilla because it's over. That's Godzilla is Japanese. Right? Like a dragon? Right, yeah, like it's a dragon, right? It's a dragon. You're feeding a dragon, right? But I get it, y'all. It wouldn't exactly be practical for me to just jump off YouTube, because then hardly anybody would see me. Thank you for y'all who do come over to the website. Thank you so much for that. You know, I'm so blessed that you guys, you know, come over there. But I know it's not as big of a platform as, you know, YouTube. And as the saying goes, nothing draws a crowd like a crowd. Right? There's a crowd over here at YouTube, and it's where people want to be. There's not a crowd over at my website. I don't want to be there. Right? You know, but that's just the way it is. That's the nature of things. That is indeed the nature of things. So
let's do one more comment. Chrislyn Jackson, there are too many churches that complain about the culture instead of creating alternatives.
Absolutely. There's the alternatives, alternative entertainment, social media. But the thing is, it's not just that. Can I remind you that the foundations for that are not laid, because any of those things to be done, they have to be built on a platform that's built by another godless liberal. You see what I'm saying? That can pull the rug up from under us, or deny us distribution, deny us broadcast, deny you your platform. They own it all. So we're no longer, it used to be where the internet used to be a free frontier, and you had your gatekeepers, like Google and all that sort of stuff, who are actually the gatekeepers now. But now we don't even have control of the internet. I think with Obama, and remember during flipping a net neutrality and all that sort of stuff, and the internet's been given over, to the UN, I think, right? The internet itself is no longer a free frontier.
No, it's not. How
do we let that happen? I know I did a video on it. I mean, I may not remember everything that I said, but I know I was speaking out against it. It's like, hey, man, let's not go down this road.
Yeah.
Right? So we can talk about, we need alternatives, but the places where we could be to do it, they own all. That's all we own. Everywhere we turn, man, we in enemy territory. So all the more we got to lean on the Lord, and take Canaan. We got to take Canaan, y'all. That's what it comes down to.
Nomad 0036 says, pull a Steven Crowder, a show here on YouTube, then switch your site or stream on both, then shut down the YouTube feed.
Well, actually, y'all, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
I've actually been trying to do that for years. I've been saying I'm trying to get folks over to my website. I've actually been trying to do that for years,
when
guys.
You're actually very throttled and censored, it doesn't work well.
Your suggestion is sound, man, and don't get me wrong. It's, in any other situation, it will work. But when you're shadow banned, it doesn't work. Yeah. Shadow banning, when people try to offer these suggestions, it's like a person trying to offer suggestions to cure hiccups. It doesn't work.
Nothing works.
Nothing works to cure hiccups, y'all. Once you hiccups go until they're done. All right. Shadow banning is the same way. You give great suggestions, y'all. I appreciate it, but I mean they're well-meaning, but they don't work. I'm experienced in this for years. All right. So and I don't mind the suggestions. Sometimes I do mind the suggestions because some people like I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but some people offer suggestions as if I'm not trying. Well, you're not doing this though, and you're not doing that, and you need to do this. It's like, man, I done already done that, and it doesn't work. And it's like, I kind of get defensive about it. It's like, man, you don't know my experience. You don't know what I've been through with this. But people just make like it's just some easy thing that you can just go ahead and just step on out of. And it's like, no, dude, it's not that easy. Or even some people it's even suggested to me that I'm like milking the victim narrative on this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm milking the victim narrative on this. I would, even if I did, I would not. If a person is going to milk the victim narrative on something, it's usually lucrative for them.
It's usually very lucrative,
right?
For them.
You've got these people out there who's got these big platforms, have tried to use the shadow banning angle. Oh, we've been shadow banned, we're being marginalized, we're being censored. And then when they go out and say that, they end up getting they get a big boost of money from donors and all that sort of stuff.
We watch people make $800 a day.
Yeah.
Fundraising on the so-called shadow banning.
Making thousands. We've been shadow banned. Let me tell you something. When your audience knows that you've been shadow banned because you told them, that's not being shadow banned.
Amen.
Number two, when you're able to get a big boost in revenue because you told people that you were shadow banned, that ain't being shadow banned. That is milking a victim narrative. That's what that is. Okay? That doesn't even work for me even if I wanted it to. Right. I can sit here and I have for years. I've been telling you, dude, I've been shadow. And the reason why I tell people that I've been shadow banned isn't because I'm whining about it, is because I do have a handful of supporters that I'm very blessed to have. And it's a lot of times I bring up the shadow banning out of apology. It's like I'm apologizing. It's like, dude, I'm sorry. It breaks my heart that people are donating and I haven't done more, because people have hung in there with us for a long time. Yeah. And we haven't done more. And the support doesn't grow. It's like they're the small group of people holding, with this God-sent support holding us up. helping to keep these lights on as we move from pillar to post, trying to just find a place to operate.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I bring it up. But it's not like, oh, I'm shadow banning. No, it's like, dude, I really want to be able to do more stuff. But our ability to reach more people, is greatly marginalized. And us trying to play the victim don't work for us. We have never gotten a big old boost of income by saying, oh, we're shadow banned and there are big techs out to get us. But if you just send us your support, ain't never happened. So playing the victim narrative don't even work. And like I said, I wouldn't use it if it didn't work. It wouldn't work for me if I wanted it to. All right, and that's not how I want to roll. So praise be to God. Despite all that's been pulled up from under us, we're still going. And He sends folks like you to help keep the tires filled up so we can keep on rolling.
Amen.
Even though the godless keep on coming in and trying to slash them tires. So but we still gonna try to make it hot. Do what we're gonna do, God willing. Anything else?
Trying to find a.
Before I finish off my drink.
What was his name? Fake Justin Scared. He was kind of making a point. It's hard to find on my laptop. Yeah, he was making a point that it's really too bad that even a miracle would end up creating more problems with the way humankind treats free gifts. I was like, yeah, that's true. As you said, it would take a miracle.
Yeah.
To figure this butchering of children's
totally
things out right now.
I mean, think about that for a second, y'all. Think about how deep this goes when we're at this point where it's like, I remember when I put out my audio book, Weapon of ASS Destruction, I was talking about, parents. It's one thing for a parent to accept that there is, because that's an admission that something is wrong. But a parent would have to accept if their kid decided that, hey, I'm a homosexual. A parent would now they're gonna try to show that they're a good parent by accepting that their kid is gay. But it's still a point of acceptance. Meaning that you have to be able to accept that this is wrong. You have to recognize that it's wrong in order to be accepting of it, right? But I would say that this is something that they accepted. It's not something that they preferred.
Yeah.
We prefer that our kid be straight. Now it's gone from there. Now you got parents preferring.
Yeah.
Preferring it. When you send your kid to be butchered, by some so-called doctor, that's a preference. That's not acceptance. Right, so even if it is, it's definitely a blurred line for real.
Yeah,
and that's the emotional, psychological abyss that this has fallen into, y'all. Oh, it's a deep dive. You got to be ready to do some deep dive, baby. I don't know if we got the pressure suit, to dive that deep into these troubled waters. You know what I'm saying? And if we do. Hey, we gonna need some scuba gear fortified by the Lord in order to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Think about it, y'all. It's a deep dive. And when you go under something that's gonna be a lot of pressure, lots of pressure, not something that we could do on our own. You wouldn't dive that. You wouldn't just take a naked dive and deep into it's into so many fathoms of water. You couldn't take that to get down to the problem, right? You implode. You drown. So going into this, we're going to need some serious spiritual backup to do it. You need to start praying, baby. We need your fortification to get down to the nitty gritty of this. We know that there's no depth that you can't dig deep, that you can't get to. And if we cling on to you, we can get it done. Ultimately, it's going to take him anyway. I'm all about his iron scepter rule, y'all. And
me too.
Because I tell you what, even under his iron scepter, it'll be the most liberating era yet in human history.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's going to take. And we just need to be able to hold on to him, because we're in for a rough ride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there for our dose of head right. I hope you guys took it as some head right. Hope nobody's having an adverse reaction, breaking out in hives or anything like that. I'm going to sue you, so you giving me mental hives, with your crazy talk. So, bronzeserpentmedia.com, y'all. I hope you guys show up. Get the shirts. Let folks know where you'd like to hang out, man. Your head right hangout. Get the mugs. Make your coworkers jealous at work that they ain't got a spiffy mug like this. And drop that buck in the bucket if you want to help keep your brozo on the go, so we can, do our part to promote sanity and truth, in this global rubber room that we're in. So, thank you guys so much. Blessings. Y'all have a groovy night. Dang it. My stop streaming button at. I gotta know where my stop, because I've been doing this and people still hear me talking after I'm done. Gonna hear me like